Hello everyone, as with you always, this is Rich doing another video today on XRP. So I hope you're all having a wonderful day today wherever you are in this great world. We're gonna talk about XRP. And I gotta start with this from G Treasury. You've seen the demos, ChatGPT analyzing your Excel cash flow, generating insights and automating formulas. It seems promising, but leads to data accuracy issues, compliance gaps, and scalability ceilings. While the pressure from the board to adopt AI is real, using free or public AI tools exposes your organization's sensitive financial data to huge security gaps. Download our new ebook, The Hidden Dangers of AI-Enhanced Spreadsheets, to understand how purpose-built Treasury AI keeps you in control. So they're warning about using AI in your businesses now, and especially when it comes to Treasury solutions. But this is why over time we're going to see AI agents, but it's going to come down to how good your AI agent is. If you get a cheap AI agent, of course, it's not going to make you as much money as an expensive AI agent in the future. But this is the world we're pushing towards now. And AI, it's only gaining momentum from here. It's not slowing down. In fact, I still believe they're letting AI advance way too quick. I think they need to slow it down before something catastrophic happens, like every Terminator movie we've ever seen. But we are going to have AI agents making us money in the future while we have the time to do all the things we ever wanted to do. Doppler Finance says XRP Vault TVL 50 million plus. Doppler's XRP Vault has crossed 50 million XRP in total value locked. This reflects growing demand for XRP Ledger native yield infrastructure. Thank you to the community for the continued trust. XRP Fi is still early. We are only at the beginning of this. This is something that's going to gain more momentum over time. We're also going to have risk-free ways to earn from our XRP as well. In other words, you're going to be able to put your XRP to work for you in the future without the risk of losing any of your XRP. Ripple moves 534 million XRP as price drops to 15-month low. So right away, people would say, look at Ripple's dumping on the XRP community again. But you got to remember, next week is XRP Community Day. I wonder if Ripple is making some sort of acquisition or maybe some other venture that's going to bring utility to XRP. Maybe we will get that big announcement after all. Because whenever you see this, right away, people speculate on where this XRP is going. I don't even want to speculate on it. I'm sure we will all know soon enough. XRP derivatives rocket 5,674% in $2.51 billion market bloodbath. What to watch now? You know, whenever we see this in crypto, whenever the market is bleeding out, you always tend to see XRP still doing great things in the background. You know, and it happens all the time. Amid the crash, XRP's future volume rose 5,674% in the last 24 hours to $214.89 million on the BitMEX crypto exchange, even as the market traded lower. Same thing with ETFs. XRP dumped out, and all of a sudden we've seen a surge in inflows on the spot XRP ETFs as well. The demand out there is real, and it's institutional demand as well. The institutions, they are so eager to get into this space. What's holding them out of this space right now is the lack of regulations in the United States. Bitso accelerates cross-border payments using Ripple payments and RLUSD. So now looks like RLUSD is running on even more rails. And what I like about this is even though this is RLUSD right now, later it will be XRP. So day one, RLUSD partner, RLUSD and Ripple payments let us reinvent how money moves globally. Faster, at lower cost, and with far greater transparency. As demand grows in the U.S., we're ready to serve that demand and become the rail and payout partner for LATAM. You know, like I said, RLUSD opens doors for XRP. XRP can move money, move value even faster and cheaper than a stablecoin. But this benefits XRP no matter how you look at it. Bitcoin lost its narrative. Take a listen to this.
Yeah, I don't think it was the Genius Act that messed up Bitcoin. I think some of it was actually the surge in gold, because the surge in gold kind of undermined Bitcoin's whole narrative as being digital gold, because gold has outperformed Bitcoin in the sense that it's been acting more as a hedge against global instability. You know, it also has limited supply. And I think that's been more what's undermined Bitcoin's narrative. As for what's happening in Washington, I mean, we've discussed this a lot on the show. I mean, Washington has, you know, they're still waiting for the Clarity Act to pass. It hasn't passed. I don't think that's what's going on right now. I think Bitcoin is very much a narrative-driven asset, and we've kind of lost the narrative, and I think that's what's causing the panic.
And she's 100% right. The narrative is now dying. And if you look at the very first reply, Bitcoin does not need your narrative. 21 million. Scarcity is not a use case. And the belief system around Bitcoin is dying. And once the belief system dies, guess what happens? The price starts to fall, and it falls into being irrelevant. And that's the direction Bitcoin is already headed in. The Epstein files are also partly responsible for the bloodbath that Bitcoin is experiencing. But ultimately, XRP will rise from the ashes because of this. This comes from Mac Attack XRP. I've spoken to some of the founders of Bitcoin. You realize how damning that actually is, because every single Bitcoin maxi always said it was created by some guy nobody knows in a cave somewhere over in Japan. Now we know that there's actually founders of Bitcoin. I still believe it was David Schwartz as one of the founders. But that alone tells you that everything you've ever known about Bitcoin, it's all starting to come down. And the Epstein files were very damning for Bitcoin. And then there's this. Tether has minted another 1 billion USDT today. So that's also what's propping up the price of Bitcoin, and what has been propping up the price of Bitcoin for a very long time. Eventually, this will come to an end. And if Tether ever was to collapse out, I still believe Tether is a ticking time bomb. Something is going to happen with Tether. It's just a matter of time. And when Tether, just falls and loses its peg, that's it for Bitcoin. Bitcoin's going down with Tether. Price drops for XRP, rapidly rising usage. XRP ledger just reached 1.88 million payments. So even as the price was dropping, we've seen a surge in XRP ledger payments happening at the same time. Nothing changed around XRP. I stress that more than anything, because that's what people think happens every time the price turns red. There must be something wrong with XRP. Why is the price dropping right now? But XRP still follows Bitcoin still. Until we fully decouple from Bitcoin, every time Bitcoin falls, XRP will fall. Every time Bitcoin rises, XRP will rise. But gradually, that decoupling is already starting, and it started a while ago. And I think as we start to push into the future, we're just going to fully decouple from Bitcoin at some point. But what this shows you is, in the background, everything's still moving like it always moved. In fact, we're seeing more growth around Ripple, more growth around XRP, and more momentum for the XRP ledger as well. Customers of all ages are interested in paying with crypto, with younger generations leading the charge. Merchants are reporting this interest coming mostly from millennials, and Gen Z are younger. Does this match what you're seeing in your own life? So you see, younger shoppers are leading the crypto payment movement. So you see Gen Z 77%, millennials 73%, Gen X 28%, and baby boomers 4%. I think that's why crypto education is so important. You got to educate people on how to utilize crypto. Educate them on what crypto was built to do. Educate them on what XRP was built to do. But this is how I see it as well. And then you see Gen Z interest, small biz 82%, mid-size 67%, large 65%. But if you want to capture the younger generation's business, you gotta accept crypto. That is going to double your business in a very short period of time. And as crypto continues to get integrated into the financial system, you're going to be, most of your transactions as a business owner, they're going to be coming from crypto payments in the very near future anyway. So if you want to succeed and you want to do better than your competition, this is something that every business should do in the United States right now. Start accepting crypto. And I'm not talking about from crypto to US dollars to the merchant. I'm talking about crypto to the merchant's crypto wallet. That has to happen. And that will eventually happen. US Treasury just bought back $2 billion of their own debt. That makes $6 billion this week. This is why US dollars will continue to lose value. You know, whenever the Treasury is buying back this debt, this shows you that the US dollar, it's losing momentum around the world. Country after country is pushing away from US debt. They don't want it anymore. And that's why the US now wants to tokenize our debt, so they could send it into places that it has never gone before. You know, they're always talking about the unbanked population. That's who they want to sell the U.S. debt to. They want to get them on to the banking system so that they could be future debt buyers of American debt. But here's the thing. I think we're headed to a gold-backed system. I think the debt, it's going to become tokenized, or they're just going to wipe out the debt at some point. Maybe they utilize XRP to do that, because that would be a possibility as well. But this is also why I don't understand why crypto holders are so eager to sell into US dollars. There's no way I would trade XRP for US dollars at any point in the very near future. I don't care how high the price goes, because I look at it like this. The US dollar is only going to continue to lose buying power. XRP, it's going to rise in buying power. Things in the future will most likely be priced out in certain cryptocurrencies. and I think XRP will be one of them. But like I always tell you, until it happens, stay patient, stay positive, and let's get rich together. With that said, I'm going to wrap up this video. I want to thank you all for watching. I appreciate all of you. I'll see you in the next one. Have a great night.